This is the story of Jack Thompson, who had always dreamed of becoming a successful businessman. He tried starting several businesses, but all of them failed. He lost money, including that of his family, friends, and colleagues. Despite all the failures, Jack refused to give up. He kept borrowing more money and trying new ideas, hoping that eventually something would work. Over time, Jack found himself buried in debt. His family kicked him out of the house because his father wanted him to learn a lesson in responsibility. Jack, overwhelmed by despair, began drinking heavily to numb his pain. He wandered the streets, unsure of where his life was headed. One night, while drunk and stumbling down a deserted street, a man dressed in a long black coat and a wide-brimmed hat stepped in his path. "Get out of the way. I need to go home," Jack slurred. The man replied, "Where will you go? Your family has thrown you out, haven't they?" Jack was stunned. "How do you know that?" he asked. The man smiled and said, "I know everything about you, and I'm here to help you fix your life." Jack, desperate, responded, "I've tried everything. Nothing works, and now I'm deep in debt with no way out." The man replied, "I can make all your problems disappear with one simple deal. All you need to do is sign this contract." He pulled out a file and handed it to Jack. Although the words were blurry from Jack's drunkenness, he was too desperate to care and signed the document without reading it. The man smiled and said, "Tomorrow, your life will change." The next day, Jack woke up with a terrible hangover. He barely remembered signing anything, but chalked it up to a bad dream. He was about to leave his apartment when his phone rang. A woman introduced herself as Emily from PA and told him that an important meeting was scheduled at his company and a car was waiting outside to take him. Bewildered, Jack went outside, and a chauffeur drove him to a tall, luxurious office building. Inside, he was greeted by people who treated him like a VIP. He soon learned that he was the owner of a massive corporation, and not just that, but he also owned several other businesses. Jack was now a millionaire, and everything he had ever wanted was right in front of him. He couldn't believe his luck. But Jack wanted to understand how this all happened. He searched for the man in the black coat, but after several days of searching, he gave up and returned home. He told his family about the contract and everything that had occurred, but they thought he was just imagining things. Nonetheless, Jack paid off his debts, and he began to live a lavish lifestyle. Weeks passed, and Jack lived in luxury, no longer drinking. But one night, as he left a club, he spotted the man in the black coat again, talking to a woman. Jack rushed to thank him. The man smiled and said, "I help everyone who signs the contract." Jack asked, "But why did you help me?" The man replied, "You wanted everything, and I gave it to you. But now in 1 year, you will die, and I will come to take you to hell." Jack was horrified. He had never read the fine print of the contract. Now he realized the man had tricked him. In his rage, Jack grabbed the man by the coat and yelled, "You can't do this." The man simply smiled and said, "You got what you wanted. Now, in 11 months, I will come to collect you." Jack tried to fight the man, but his punches passed through the man's body as if it were smoke. "I am already dead," the man laughed. "You can't hurt me." Then, with a wicked grin, he disappeared. Realizing he had been fooled, Jack fell into despair. He knew he had only 11 months left before the demon came to claim him. Desperate, he considered ending his life before the demon could come for him. He bought a gun, planning to shoot himself. But before he could pull the trigger, the demon appeared again. "You still have 11 months, the demon said. "I won't stop until the time comes. I won't go to hell with you." Jack cried, his hands trembling. The demon tried to convince him not to kill himself, but Jack was resolute. He shot himself, but instead of dying, he found himself back on the same street where he had met the demon. The demon grinned. "You're lucky, Jack. Most people who sign contracts don't escape, but you're the first to have done so." Jack was confused. "Escaped?" he asked. The demon showed him the contract, which clearly stated that Jack would receive everything he desired, but after 1 year, he would die and be dragged to hell. But there was a clause. If Jack died before the year was up, the deal would be canceled. Since Jack killed himself prematurely, the contract was void. With a final smile, the demon vanished. Jack returned home, only to find that his life had returned to how it was before. He was back in debt, out of his family's house and struggling to survive. But this time, he was different. He apologized to his family, promising not to waste their money again. He decided to work hard, learn, and only start a business when he was truly ready. His family forgave him, and Jack began to rebuild his life. Every now and then, he still spots the demon on the streets, but he never approaches him. When he does, he remembers the terrifying deal and keeps his distance. And so, Jack's life continued, with a newfound understanding of the value of hard work and responsibility, and a deep respect for the consequences of signing contracts, especially with demons.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more thrilling tales. I also write novels in different genres like sci-fi, fantasy, and horror. If you'd like to check them out, click the link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more exciting stories.